everybody. Welcome back to Spectrum of Hurdles. I'm Shane.
And I'm Ed.
And we have a very special guest today, the rootinest, tootinest cowboy on YouTube, Cowboy Jack.
Howdy, everybody.
How you doing?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm having a great day today.
That's good. Yeah.
Can you give our fans a little background about you?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could make it a little more exciting than the true story, but the fact is I'm just a father of two from Montgomery, Texas. But, we started an educational show called Cowboy Jack during COVID, and it just actually kind of, blew up from there. And now we've been at it almost 4 years, which is crazy. We have over 230 episodes live on YouTube, Amazon, Tubi, Hulu, Yippee, every streaming platform that we love, and it's really turned into something crazy for us.
How can you? What advice do you give to people to make your YouTube channels grow? I see you have more subscriptions than anybody I know. How do you make that grow?
I mean, really, the biggest thing that the biggest hurdle to get over as a creator is the desire for perfection. So you really have to throw that out the window and just go for it, because there's such a crazy, vast audience of YouTube. I mean, it's every single corner of the earth, right? People are watching videos. You're going to find the people that love you and want to connect with you, regardless of whether your video is perfect, your audio is perfect, anything. So don't hesitate until your, edited final product is perfect. Just put it out there raw, and you will find your people. And that's kind of, when we started Cowboy Jack, it was literally for the purpose of entertaining my own kids. And so I didn't worry about, how the rest of the world would perceive it. And I still don't, just because I really, people are either going to love you or hate you. I mean, not hate you, but they're either going to gravitate to you or not, based on your personality. And that is more powerful than the video you're shooting or the audio you're making through speaking or whatever you're doing. And so YouTube is a content monster. They love content. And so the more you can feed the machine, the better off you'll do, and the faster you'll grow.
Oh, there we go. And it's funny, you said the biggest hurdle when we're always the one asking that. So thank you for beating us to the punch. We never had that before.
I thought it'd be a good little segue,
Yeah.
But it's something serious that is out there in the creator world, because yourself, you're making this podcast, everybody has the desire to want to make something just to share with the world. It's a great outlet. I mean, it's incredible making a show. The reactions you can get and the people you can touch, and things that might not seem significant to you could be very significant, life-changing for somebody else. And it's just something you get on there and say. So I just tell people, don't ever hold back. Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
We're trying to find the one video that puts us over where we can start really growing. When we hit that first hurdle pull where we start to get a lot of viewers, then I think things are going to go big for us.
I think so too.
Now, explain to us your part in the autism community or your disability community.
Yeah, so it's pretty, it's really cool. So I don't have any personal connection. I have two kiddos, and neither are on the spectrum at all, but we started making this show for them. In the fashion that we make it, I just tend to talk a little bit slower and move a little bit slower. I guess it's the, Texan in me or something. But when we first got started, there was these two women that reached out to me, Lynn White with Team Awesomeism, which is a great organization, and then Don Kuhn with Sandstone Center for Neurofeedback. They both had me and said, "Hey, we think you're doing something really cool. Why don't we sit down and talk about it? Because we think we can make it more impactful for the autism community." And I had maybe 150 subscribers at this point. I was just like, I'll take any advice I can get. And they opened my eyes to what it was we were doing. And it evolved from there, because more than anything, Cowboy Jack is just a buddy to everybody. you know, it's made for kids, but I find that we have adults watching it all over the place. It's a good way to, you know, see certain things through a friend's eyes. Like if you have anxiety about going to the dentist, well, I have 4 episodes about going to the dentist and showing all the tools that a dentist is going to use, how that process is going to go, and kind of a bird's eye view of everything, so that there's nothing scary about going to the dentist and try to take that fear away from you. And I find like videos like that resonate not only with kids, but with adults too. I mean, adults of, you know, every stature, every class, I mean, it's crazy the reach that something like that has. So, but we do try to be very mindful of the, you know, spectrum community, in the sense that we're trying to be very intentional with what we say. We don't want to, you know, make anything that could be construed as confusing or misleading or anything like that. And we just try to, you know, I naturally, unfortunately, from Texas, I do have a slight Southern drawl, but I try to enunciate my words as clearly as possible so that it reaches the most.
Yeah. I get it.
The wing of that, I can hear you full. I have the same issues.
You know, it's very interesting how. Oh, sorry, Ed.
No,
it's very. It's very interesting how there's different fan bases out there for just about anything. Like, for example, with My Little Pony, big boom about maybe 10 or 15 years ago, it was supposed to be made for little kids, but it drew a huge adult audience because of the lessons it teaches, the characters, and just like it being about friendship. It's really amazing.
Well, and I don't like those lines of, you know, oh, this is for kids or this is for adults or whatever. I think the most miraculous portion of life is when you're a kid, right?
Yeah.
That like 0 to 13-year-old range where just everything is new and exciting and innocent and just fun and pure joy. And I try to do everything I can to fight to protect that as long as humanly possible. Of course, we all, you know, go on our individual paths in life, and we all, you know, lose our wonder in everything at some point. But
yeah,
why not have, I mean, if you like My Little Pony, or if you like Cowboy Jack, or you like anything, it doesn't say you're an adult and you find it incredibly relaxing to play with Play-Doh. Well, Play-Doh is for kids, but why can't you play with it as an adult? There's no rules. It's silly.
Right, like Legos too.
Yeah. Oh man. When I was growing up, I hated Legos. I have a 7-year-old son now who loves Legos, and I don't like building myself because I'm not very, like, that's not the way my mind works. But watching him, like, I can get behind some Legos. That's fun stuff, man.
Right?
I can just sit there and watch him build, and it's fascinating.
I think that bridge between adult and child really got changed with the Toy Story movies that came out. Basically, they were made for children. However, every one of those toys was from the 70s. And I find myself saying, I had that, and it was more fascinating in that. It really bridged the gap.
As us adults watch that movie, the characters are developed for kids, but the characters resonate with us. It's just, you know, I'll give you an example. I took my daughter to see Moana 2 recently, and of course we watched, you know, I think the music, like, you know, everybody has different opinions on Disney, and I have my own as well. But at the same time, like, finding a really well animated movie with really great music is hard to do these days. And they knocked it out of the park with Moana. We really enjoyed it. And then Moana 2 comes out. I take my daughter to see Moana 2. And there's some scenes in that movie, spoiler alert, but there's some scenes in that movie where Moana is saying goodbye to her little sister. She's going out on a journey, and she doesn't know if she'll see her again. And like, a grown man of 40 years old watching a cartoon, had tears running down my face in the theater. I said, "Aw." There's no.
I was the exact same way watching Inside Out.
Yeah.
I could not stop bawling, and I was not the only one in that theater crying.
Yeah, I mean, these lines of "this is for kids, this is not for kids," it's all silly, because who doesn't need a release? And these characters are very developed. They're teaching our kids things that, you know, we didn't have that kind of character development in our characters as kids and stuff. And I think it's all good. If you're an adult and you want to play with Legos or you want to play with Play-Doh or you want to, dress up for Halloween, who cares? Do whatever
Yeah.
makes you happy, man. You only get one chance on this rock, you know?
Exactly, exactly. And for me, it may sound kind of cheesy, but I really like Katy Perry and Lady Gaga. I mean, the outfits, the personalities, and I really resonate with Katy Perry a lot. I get that may not be like completely who she is as a person, but the image that she projects
Yeah.
really taps into my inner child and reminds me to be who I am.
Well, I mean, that's so like Swifties, for example, like the
Hmm.
fandom of the Swifties, like I'm not crazy about her music, but you can't argue that she puts on an incredible show. It
Hmm.
unlocks a beast in these little girls that are following her and adults that are following her. I mean, it's just that it transports you to somewhere other than the daily reality boringness, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, she
The,
knows how to do it.
Yeah.
yep. The one thing that really kind of hit that way you said for me, I went to about 3 years ago, and please forgive me, I don't remember the name, but Shane just went recently this year. The paint festival where they would
Oh
throw
yeah,
paint at each
Holy,
other.
the Holy event.
Yeah. You see grown men 40, 50 just throwing paint at each other.
Yeah.
And it,
Nothing wrong with that. Well,
I mean, there's all kinds of things out there. Like Burning Man Festival. I mean, that's not for me, but for a lot of
mhm.
folks, that's a great, release to just be crazy, whatever.
yeah.
Do you
And
find
it's
it easy?
interesting. Sorry, Ed, again. When we met you at the ICANN conference, for everybody that doesn't know, Cowboy Jack came to Orlando to this disability conference called ICANN, put on by this great organization called Autism Connect, who's based in Mumbai. And during your speech and presentation, you said your inspiration to being Cowboy Jack was Woody, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So I started it when the pandemic hit. I was traveling like 70% of the time. All of a sudden, my proverbial wings with my company were clipped. They said, go home and work
Hmm.
from home and do that. And so I did. And that was the first time we really let our kids watch, or I only had my son at the time. That was the first time we let them watch any television. And he really resonated to Woody from Toy Story, amongst other things that he got hooked on some other shows that we weren't crazy about. And that's what led me to be Cowboy Jack. But I emulated Cowboy Jack through the eyes of my son liking Woody. Being a Texan, I already had the boots, I already had the jeans, I already had the hat. I needed a vest to bring it together in a particular shirt. But I mean, Cowboy Jack in a nutshell is just a human personification of Woody.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's cool. I like it.
Now, we here at Spectrum of Hurdles, we try to make videos for everybody, about everybody.
Hmm.
Do you find it easier making videos for children or for adults? And how is the process different making a video for children or for adults?
You know, uh, I think it's easier for me making a video well, I can tell you for a fact that it's easier for me to connect with kids than it is with adults, or at least connecting with someone who's in the playful spirit. Like I am such
Yeah.
a natural goober. Like I love knock knock jokes. I love, it's my escape. I get to do a lot of things that I didn't get to do as a kid now as an adult through the spirit of Cowboy Jack. But um, I did an experiment a while back. Kids content isn't the most lucrative business to be in. And so I
Hmm.
thought, well, I like making people laugh and I think I'm pretty funny. So why don't I make a show for adults too? And so I did. I started a show called Dad's Gone Mild. And I had a great studio to make a podcast. I had great guests. We did hilarious things, but doing that, I just didn't have as much fun as I did with Cowboy Jack. And I think people could tell that my heart wasn't in it. I was doing it because I felt like I needed to do it versus doing Cowboy Jack because I literally want to do it.
Right.
I think
That
that's a big secret sauce in life, period. If you can find something that you really enjoy doing that'll pay the bills or help pay the bills, man, there's no better combination, you know?
That
Exactly.
sounds to me very similar to like the actor Paul Rubens, who played a lot of horror movies. You know, he said they're okay, but when he became Pee Wee Herman himself, became that little kid, he had more
Hmm.
fun, he was having more people, and I see a lot of that. I see it's just so many people want to be a child in life, and that's not bad. Everybody said, you know, you can't. You've got to be a grown up all the time, and that's silly. Completely
Yeah.
silly.
I mean, I love your example there with Paul Rubin. I mean, if you look at him being Pee Wee Herman, you can tell it's natural. It's coming from a place of like joy in his heart, and he was really good at it. I know he had some interesting situations happen later in life or whatever, but you look at him as Pee Wee Herman, and it's just pure joy coming from a really good place in his heart. And then you look at him in other things, and he was a fantastic actor no matter what the role. But like
Yeah.
he was in a movie with Johnny Depp where he was playing a more serious character, and it didn't feel as natural or as real.
Hmm.
It's like if you put Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck has done incredible things across his career, starting with, Dazed and Confused all the way through Batman and everything that he's been. If you put him in a role to play Cowboy Jack, he would probably crash and burn.
Hmm. What's very interesting, it's funny you brought this up. The other day, Ed and I were scrolling through different videos on YouTube, and what came up was the trailer for the new Naked Gun movie. And guess who is playing Frank Drebin?
Liam Neeson.
Exactly. You would never think that that would work, but I'd like to see how they do it.
I can't wait to see it because I'm such a big Naked Gun fan. Like those movies, and any Leslie Nielsen was just fantastic. Like there was one I can't. It was so underappreciated in the market, but this movie was just wrongfully accused. It was a,
Hmm.
it was a spoof of The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, and
Okay.
I thought he played that role so beautifully. I mean, I'm hoping, maybe Liam Neeson has a really playful side that we haven't got to see yet, and it
Yeah.
comes out great. I hope.
Hmm.
I think another good example of that was when Macaulay Culkin grew up. When Macaulay
Yeah.
Culkin was playing like the Home Alone movies, he was having fun doing all that, and then he tried to play serious roles, and it just did not sound right.
Well, that's a prime example. Will Smith, I mean, not Will Smith, Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig a few years back starred in a Lifetime movie.
Really?
Yeah, so they stepped out of their comedy shoes and made a serious Lifetime movie, which, I mean, Lifetime movies are low budget, fast turn,
Right.
all those things. But at the same time, they're playing a serious role as a married couple in this movie. And the entire time you're watching it, A, as a consumer, you can't take it seriously because
Right.
but B, them, you can look on their face and they're fighting back laughter the whole time because they're such good friends in real life. They always play comedy roles. So
Right.
you just
You,
find your sweet spot.
Right. More power to them. Yeah. If they
yeah,
want to do more than just one thing, that's awesome. Who says you
you
can't be
do make
limited to just one thing?
you do make a good point though. Do you feel Cowboy Jack has a hard time being taken seriously as a YouTube artist, being
No.
a child actor?
Not at all. Like I find that the reception is absolutely incredible. Like I think people's initial reaction, like, so I have Cowboy Jack plastered across the back of my truck. I have, like a wrap across my back windshield of my truck. And yesterday I went to the grocery store, and when and it has the YouTube, subscribe button on it as well, or whatever. And when I got out of my truck, this couple walked up to me and they're like, Cowboy Jack, what is that? And I was like, oh, I make a show for kids. They're like, oh, really? That's cool. They're like, what kind of viewership do you have or whatever? And I was like, well, I mean, it varies, but if you add up, every different platform we're on, we get somewhere around, 15, 20 million views a month. And they're like, what? Seriously? That's amazing. And so I think, and that was a couple who was well past their, young child having days and everything.
Hmm.
But I mean, I think everybody's really receptive to it. But I mean, I guess, it's hard to impress everyone, but like you meet, you know, people all different. Like if I meet somebody who has a really big gaming channel, which I've done, like we talk their numbers and it's just mind boggling what they do. I mean, there's a bazillion people out there watching them. They're selling out arenas to do a live show of their gaming channel. Like that's a world that I don't live in, but I still respect it. But so long-winded answer, but yeah, Ed, I feel like it's pretty easy to garner the interest of almost anyone on this thing. It's really a crazy fun experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's the whole celebrity thing. I know that you said something about, oh, that's cool. You meet all these people. And it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's what I enjoy doing. I love socializing with my heroes and possibly getting to know them, but just sparks joy for me.
Man, I looked at your Instagram and I was just blown away. Like you're sitting there taking pictures with like all my heroes, and I'm like, that is beyond cool.
Thank you.
If that's what makes you happy, I mean, hey, you've obviously found a way to make it happen, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most of our interviews are like our YouTube channels are mostly interviews with other people. It's more fact-based things.
Right.
You have like a fun, happy time go thing. How do we go about doing that in our interview? Because we would love to be on a level as you. How do we go about getting the entertainment factor out there more, where more people want to come see us and more people want to come, hear us?
Man, I think you just got to find the format that you're happy with. What gives you the most joy doing it? And if it's interviews, I mean, think about the people out there that just do interviews that have incredibly strong fan bases. Like, I mean, one of my favorite podcasters, and it's a show for adults, but I love hearing the comedian Theo Vaughn do interviews with people.
Yeah. And Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I mean,
Most popular.
I really enjoy Joe Rogan's interviews, but at the same time, I just don't have the attention span to give one of those the attention it deserves.
Yeah.
I find myself gravitating to the 45-minute or an hour long interviews that like Theo Vaughn do, or like Two Bears One Cave, Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer. But the fun thing is, like, my favorite interviewers are these comedians, and I love stand-up comedy. I love stand-up comedy, but like Theo Vaughn, I don't find his stand-up entertaining for me. Like,
Really?
I hate to say that, but I don't gravitate to his stand-up comedy. I gravitate more to his actual interactive personality, which you find on him doing interviews.
Mm-hmm. I get it. And it's very interesting. Aren't all these guys based out of Texas? Like, yeah.
I guess Theo is out of Nashville, but
okay.
Tom and Bert are based out of Austin. There's a lot of podcasters based out of Austin these days. I mean, that's where Rogan is. That's where Two Bears, One Cave. I went on a really great podcast a couple of years ago, Drinking Bros, and they put on a really cool show. They film it like 5 days a week, and it's just
wow.
insane. But these people find their calling for these interviews, and then they just immerse themselves in it, and it's great. That's not what makes me happy. I almost feel bad when people ask Cowboy Jack to like come do an appearance or come give a speech or something, because as much as I love doing them, and I gave a speech at ICANN and I thoroughly enjoyed that experience, but I feel like the magic of Cowboy Jack is within the places we go, not necessarily the person. I mean, of course, I'm a fun conduit to those places we go. I help show the experience or whatever, but without the place, just Cowboy Jack by himself, like if I just made videos of me talking, I don't think I'd get very good viewership.
We would actually love to be part of the Cowboy Jack show once. It's such a fun time. Yeah. Really.
All right. And one final question before we go. Hate to go just yet. So what has been the most, kind of a two-parter, what has been the most rewarding video to do, and what was your favorite experience by doing that?
Man, I think one of the really interesting and cool things about Cowboy Jack is that, of course, we get to film with really big corporations and some really cool places. We've done, the Houston Texans football team. That was an incredible experience. We did Memorial Hermann Life Flight, which most people around the country know as a care flight, which emergency transport helicopters and medical services in the air for level 1 trauma patients and things like that. I mean, those are incredible experiences. And of course, like, going to zoos and aquariums and all those things are great, but like, we really have always gravitated to the mom and pops that we feel like are making such a huge difference at the grassroots level, like the local, I shot my Easter special this year at a place called Little Dreamers Playhouse, not far from where I live. And these are just, it's not a franchise. Not that I don't have anything against franchises. I think franchises are great, but this was just a couple that went out on their own and opened a little play place that's sensory friendly for kids. We went there and filmed, and when we go and meet them, I mean, we find that their heart is in the exact same place as ours. They just want to help as many people as they can while they're here. They're like, I have, in my cell phone, the contacts for, like I said, we filmed over 230 episodes at this point. I guarantee you I could call 199 of them right now and say, hey, I need your help today. And I would have 199 of them say, okay, what do we do? It's reestablished my faith in humanity, meeting these types of people. And like the people we met at ICANN in Orlando, like you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're really out there trying to make a difference, doing everything in your power, putting information out there for the world. And I think that's the coolest part of it. Now, coolest individual experience. I mean, as a Houstonian, it was pretty cool to get to run a touchdown into the end zone at NRG Stadium. But I don't know. There's so many cool, like, I learned from doing Cowboy Jack. I like simple things that you didn't ever think about when you were a kid, and now you do them as Cowboy Jack and you learn them. Like, for example, I didn't know fire trucks actually hold a giant pool of water in them. I had no idea. Some of these fire trucks, the tanker trucks, are hauling around essentially a swimming pool worth of water and ready to pump without even being connected to more water. So that's like some of the cool takeaways, man. I feel like I'm a kid when I put on that costume.
Very nice. Very cool.
We always thank you for being with us today. Ladies and gentlemen out there, his name is Cowboy Jack. His YouTube's channel is booming, and we invite you all to check it out. And if y'all like this video, please like, subscribe, and get notifications to our channel.
Awesome, guys. All right. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time. Keep on doing it.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll be in touch in the future down the line, and then we'll see you soon.
All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.